So after getting into creating art, like when was the first time that you really noticed that you had something special with what you was creating?
When I was in therapy and I showed my therapist, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is nice. How long you been painting?" And I said, "Last week."
Yeah.
Last week, and she said it was so deep because I put that S word in there. That happened. I draw like a vagina, and I had barbed wires on there, and I said, "Just say no." And then the other piece was on my back. I had everything that I was wearing on my back, the cover that no one knew, but they saw that smile. But I still had flowers. I still had flowers like that, but I had red wets all on my back because that's what our cousin used to beat us, whoop us. Like if we drank the last Kool-Aid or we dropped something. I never got a really bad beating. My sister got a really bad beating by putting a headscarf. Well, actually, I put the headscarf on the doll, but my sister took the blame, and my cousin beat her so bad and threw her outside in the snow. In Georgia, it actually snowed some. Maybe not a lot, but it was snow, and she stood out there in the snow forever. And she finally made it back in. But the PTSD helps me when I paint, when I think about the past. That's when I grab the canvas and write it.
You want to show some of your art?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
With my art, I started just doing art, and that's when I met Rick Geyer. My friend Heidi was like, "Hey, they got this big show going on at Triangle. Won't you apply for it?" And I was like, "Okay." So I went down there with a piece of art, and Rick Geyer was like, "Oh my God, who did this?" I said, "I did." And he was like, "That's a masterpiece." And I looked, and I'm like, plenty of times I was rejected from my art because people didn't know what it was when they saw it. They were like, "Ew, you can't paint." They wanted me to do this masterpiece, and I just couldn't do it. I only did it for how I felt. When I first started doing painting, it wasn't about buying my art or doing it for people to buy it. I only did it to reflect my feelings. It was never meant to sell. So that's why I didn't want it to look amazing. I wanted to look what came out of my mind, but I couldn't express it because of the word shame, because of the word as the letter. But I started doing art, and people started looking at it. And when I caught them looking at it, every time I was an artist, they would look at it and actually grab their chest. They would be crying in tears, and they would be like, "Oh my God, this is me." And that's when I knew that I had a gift of helping others. What made me help myself, what made me help others. And that's why I paint. I paint for me, but I also paint. I actually paint for me, but I show what I feel, and I find out for others. So it truly inspires everybody. And so I was part of Macon 200. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
The mall. And I had so many left because of COVID. So I was at home, stuck at home in COVID. And I worked for Macon Housing Authority, so I start painting there. But after the Macon 200, I applied for Macon 200, the artists that the calendar that Macon 200 had, and it's all about Macon. And mine, I was chosen, but mine was like, who is the villain and who is the heroes? So I thought the heroes would have been, I lost my track, but the heroes was Ellen Craft. And so I thought I did a hero of Ellen Craft, and then I used the other lady, Anjet Giles, and people loved it. Yes. So I did this one, but I never knew that, guess what? It made front cover. And that's when I knew my art was okay. I knew that people like my art if I made the cover in Macon Magazine. Shout out to Macon Magazine, by the way, too. Thank y'all.
Shout out to Macon Magazine.
Susanna! And Julia.
How does that make you feel for everything to kind of come full circle for you to be able to use your pain to be able to express to others and make them relate to something that they never been through and only you personally been through?
It makes me feel good to know that I am not alone. A lot of people inbox me and they was like, "Oh my God, you have the guts and the bravery." Thank you. they'll say that to me. Thank you. So I'm here to inspire others. I don't want to, but I see what happens to help people. So I'll keep painting the way I want to paint. I'm not going to paint the way you want me to.
Right.
And people like it. It's my pain. I turn my pain into positivity. And my positivity helps other people. And they buy my pain. So that's what I call my little thing called Buy My Pain. Y'all come buy my pain. So you'll get it.
Come by the pain.
Buy the pain.